In today's edition of the Vishwakul, hotels in India set for decade-high earnings. ICRI recently shared that the Indian hospitality industry is on track to reach its highest revenue per available room, RevPAR, in a decade by FY 2025, with even more growth expected in FY 2026. Now, if you're wondering what RevPAR actually means, it's just a way of measuring how much money hotels make per room per day. And the numbers are looking good. Occupancy rates are expected to hit 72 to 74% by FY 2026, and premium hotels' average room rates are set to rise to 8,000 rupees 8,400. In simple terms, hotels aren't just filling more rooms, they're also charging more for them. But why does this matter? Let's break it down. When hotels do well, it often reflects something bigger happening in the economy. People don't usually spend on hotel stays unless they have extra money to spare, whether it's for a weekend trip, a wedding, or a business meeting. This suggests that disposable incomes are growing, businesses are thriving enough to send employees on work trips, and large events like meetings, conferences, and exhibitions are back in full swing. When hotels are buzzing, it's a sign that people are spending on things beyond the basics, which is always a positive sign for economic growth. There's another angle to this story: tourism. Domestic travel has bounced back strongly after the pandemic, and international tourist arrivals, FTAs, are recovering too. In 2019, FTAs peaked at 10.9 million, and by 2023, they've climbed back to 6.2 million. The government has also stepped in to support the sector by improving travel infrastructure. Adding 17 new airports since 2020 has made it easier for both domestic and international tourists to explore India. Before we dive in, let's take a quick look at how the hotel industry works. Broadly, it's divided into two categories: branded and unbranded players. The branded segment, which includes big names like Marriott, IHCL, and Lemon Tree, currently makes up about 166,000 rooms. Source: Tijori Finance. This is expected to grow by about 55,000 rooms over the next 5 years. Sounds like a lot. Source: CARE Ratings. It's not. Even with this growth, demand is outpacing supply, and that's one of the main reasons room rates and RevPAR are climbing. The unbranded segment, on the other hand, is much larger but harder to track. It includes small boutique hotels, family-run guest houses, and even Airbs. While these cater to a big chunk of travelers, they operate in a highly fragmented market, making it tough to get consistent data or metrics for the industry as a whole. Here's where it gets interesting. Many hotel chains are moving away from owning properties outright. Instead, they're adopting an asset-light approach, using management contracts, franchises, and revenue-sharing models to grow. Why? Because it's faster, cheaper, and much easier to scale compared to investing heavily in real estate. Source: Varsity. Lemon Tree and ITC hotels are also embracing this model. By doing so, they're able to focus on expanding operations and improving profits, instead of worrying about owning every building they operate. If demand is so strong, why aren't we seeing a wave of new hotels? The reason is the long time it takes to build new ones. Developing a hotel isn't something you can do overnight. Land acquisition, construction, branding, it all takes years. On top of that, challenges like limited land in prime locations and rising development costs slow things down even more. This delay is why supply growth, estimated at a CAGR of 4.5–5.5%, will continue to lag behind demand in the medium term. By FY 2028, India's branded room inventory is expected to reach 221,000, but it still won't be enough to close the gap. Another trend worth paying attention to is where the new supply is coming up. In the past, hotels were mostly focused on Tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi, and Bengaluru. But now, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities are stepping into the spotlight. With growing urbanization, better infrastructure, and higher incomes in smaller cities, hoteliers are rushing to meet the rising demand in these areas. In fact, more than 70% of the new supply in the pipeline is planned for these smaller cities. It's a smart move, as hotel chains look to tap into the potential of domestic tourism and smaller-scale business travel. If we take a step back, the growth of the hospitality sector says a lot about where the economy is headed. Weddings are in full swing, businesses are hosting conferences again, and families are traveling more, all clear signs of a strong recovery after COVID. Even foreign tourist arrivals, which haven't fully bounced back yet, are expected to pick up soon, adding even more momentum. And it's not just about hotels. When demand for hotels goes up, it sets off a ripple effect. Jobs are created, not just in hotels but also in related industries like travel, food, and construction. Tax revenues increase. Cities have become more appealing for investments. It's a chain reaction that benefits the entire economy. So, the next time you book a stay, remember, you are playing a small but important role in this booming sector.